You need to sort yourself out for the FA Cup final with some free and exclusive beers from one of the UK's best breweries. Our good friends at Beer 52 and Siren Brewery have teamed up with 8 different breweries from across the world to bring you 8 exclusive beers that you will not find anywhere else. All you have to do is go to beer52.com/paddock and pay their £6.95 postage to get your crate of free beers. I absolutely love the beers that I've been getting out of Beer 52 so far. I've been with them for a while and I know they've got absolute beer experts curating some of the best beers in the world every single month for you. And this month, Beer 52 are teaming up with Siren to celebrate the brewery's 10th birthday. Now, for a decade, Siren has been making some of the best beers in the world, teaming up with other breweries around the world, coming up with cutting-edge techniques, some of the best beers in UK craft beer culture, as well as championing the traditional brewing techniques. This is Activate Deadline Mode, Siren's latest IPA. They are known for their IPAs, and think of this as almost like a greatest hits, bringing together all of the classic Siren IPA notes. You've got tropical, you've got Moorish mouthfeel, you've got everything you need in an IPA right here in the Activate Deadline Mode this month from Siren. Very good. You've also got the Pastel Pils, which is everything you want from a Pilsner. Light, crisp, easy to drink. They've also got the darker side of things. They've got the Birthday Bourbon, which is a nitro stout, which you have to see to believe. But if you don't like dark beers, you can just go for the light beer option. They will send you exactly what you want when you want it. And don't forget as well, with Beer 52, it's not just beers. You also get these tasty snacks like, look at this, sea salt and balsamic vinegar oven-baked pea snaps. And it's not just beers, it's not just snacks. If you want to get to grips with Siren, you want to learn more about the brewery and the fantastic breweries that they work with, make sure to check out Ferment magazine down the side of the box there. This takes you through all of the latest news in the craft beer world, as well, of course, like I said, as a Siren special this month. And if after all that you're not happy, you can simply pause or cancel at any time. You can't ask for more than that. Make sure you go to beer52.com/paddock to claim your free case of beer now. That is beer52.com/paddock for your free case of beer.
Because you've done all this before, what do you usually wear when you're in the
I've never coached at a charity game.
Right, okay.
I wear my tracksuit usually.
Right.
Occasionally, I don't mind a short.
Well, we can't wear anything United related at FC.
Yeah.
So that's a no-go. We can't turn up in your new United kit.
Can't wear Paddock because that's a lot of YouTube dickheads.
So, I've got like black trackies.
If you was a manager,
Yeah.
what are you going with? Like the ankle showing, black trainers with a white bottom, maybe a nice polo shirt.
Polo, you could go a bit like Graham Potter at Chelsea. No, he was a turtleneck one, not polo shirt.
Yeah,
sorry.
he got in a style counsellor, didn't he? I think.
Yeah, he did.
Because he was just a straight tracksuit. Yeah. He was almost like a young Tony Pulis when he was at Brighton.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, like
without the Sports Direct hat.
Shot through the club shop.
Yeah,
in a cannon
glued up.
with a load of glue. Yeah.
So I don't know what to wear.
Well, I'm just the assistant. I'm
not wearing a fucking suit.
Because you could get away with a suit and I could just get away with trackies because I'm just like the little,
Steve's cone man.
Yeah, basically, yes. And I'm all right with that. If you're wondering what we're on about, by the way, me and Steve are at a fundraiser game tomorrow for Len Johnson, a fighter from about 100 years ago. He fought in Manchester, was a fantastic fighter, won over 90 fights.
Where's he from, Jay?
He was from Clayton. Clayton. So one good thing that came out of that side of Manchester, that part of Manchester, I'm not saying about Droylsden, I'm talking about Clayton and that area where the Etihad is.
I don't think it's a good idea being black in Clayton in 2023.
Right.
I can't imagine the shit that he had to put up with 100
Well, I'll tell you one thing he had to put with. Despite the fact he beat all the champions, including the British champion, he couldn't hold the British title because there was a colour bar that if one of your parents wasn't white, you weren't allowed to fight for the British title. So
when did they relinquish that? About a fortnight ago?
Yeah, that was sorted about. They sorted that in about a fortnight ago. But we're doing a fundraiser, me and Steer involved in it, to raise funds for a statue because the council have said you can have a statue of him, he should be celebrated, but we're not going to pay for it.
Fucking Brexit.
Hey. Yeah, we want to pin that on Brexit.
Cheers, Boris.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Where's this fucking app that we got? Track and trace that money.
So, yeah, Steve's going to be the coach of the celeb team.
We're taking it serious as well.
Yeah, so we're going to have there's going to be a few boxers, a few politicians, a few
lot of dicks off Love Island.
Yeah, Hollyoaks, Coronation Street, all them lot. They're going to get put through the paces.
Is Crawler playing?
Apparently, he's coming, but he can't play. Do you know what you should do? I know you don't need it for coaching advice. You ask someone who's coached at the highest level. Do you know anyone who's coached at the highest level? Do you know anyone who's played at the highest level? When you think about the very highest level you can play at, do you know anyone who's played at that level?
You have to be someone that's played for the Sundial who draws them on it.
What about you, Chucky? Do you know anyone who's played at the highest level and coached at the highest level? Maybe you could help Steve a few tips tomorrow.
A few tips for tomorrow.
Yeah.
The highest level.
Yeah.
I mean, highest level might be. We're talking Love Island here.
Oh well, that's.
And Hollyoaks.
Yeah.
Hollyoaks. So we're dealing with the creme de la creme.
Oh,
These
you're talking about the players.
The players, yeah.
I thought you were talking.
No,
about
I mean, do you know anyone that's played at the highest level?
highest
Because he's got a
level
coach the likes of Love Island and.
Well, I mean,
In fact, it's not even Love Island.
players at
anymore.
the highest level.
Lamin can't make it. 'Cause he's got rugby stuff to do.
There was a guy that
I know. Rugby.
he coached a team at the World Cup. Ferguson, I think he was called.
Right.
Kind of
Yeah.
had one or two things.
Oh,
over a
I think
period
I
of
saw him
time.
coaching actually.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Used to play for Everton.
Aye, that's the one. Aye. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know he coached at the World Cup.
Aye, he coached the World Cup. Yeah.
Was that before your time?
What do you mean before my time?
Well, you played for Scotland, but did you play in that World Cup? Was my point.
No. I did not. I didn't play in the World Cup. Thanks very much.
How
Steve,
didn't
for
you play in the World
reminding
Cup?
me of
You were flying at
biggest
that time as well.
disappointment.
Do you know what? I don't know why I asked you that because I know you didn't play in the World
Oh,
Cup.
my
So
life.
as soon as I said it, I thought you didn't play in the World Cup. I know this.
Yes.
Because I know how many caps you got and I know they weren't at the World
But
Cup.
thank you for reminding me of.
Well, I think it's a
Painful.
travesty. Didn't you score wasn't that during the time you scored 126 goals in
No, it
4
wasn't.
games for Celtic?
No, I wasn't.
Might as well.
No, I was only no. I was playing for Celtic at the
Yeah,
time, but
How come you didn't get a call up for the World Cup then?
I was involved in all the squads up during the qualifiers for the 1990 World Cup, which took place in Italia,
I remember it.
and I wasn't. I was left out of the last, or I wasn't selected. Whatever way around.
What about 86?
No, I'd been. No, 86. No, because I was probably a bit young then. I think really. So.
You're still scoring a lot of goals. Aren't you?
Aye, but I mean, I hadn't played international
Right,
football by.
okay.
Well, I hadn't played for the full
That
international squad then. So.
That seems a bit random though, the 99 one as well after you.
Well, you look back and you reflect on different things, and what people who are lucid like myself come to the understanding is that it's probably it will be down to yourself. It's your own responsibility, actions and consequences. So I don't think it was anything to do with me as a football player. It might have been to do with me as a person and as a personality or personality-less, depending on which way you want to look at it. And I think that was mainly the thing. I think that whatever way the squad was chosen or selected was okay.
Who was playing up front? Was it Alan McCoy?
Well, McCoy was there. McInally had been there. I think Maurice Johnson. I'm not sure if Kevin Gallagher was involved in that. But certainly Scotland used to have a plethora of players, or a big pool to choose from. That was probably that would be the last time that Scotland, if not other countries, had a quite a significant pool of players to choose from in all positions, not just as forwards. So it would have been something that I didn't quite fit, but not to do with my football. It would have been something else. But it's difficult decisions. You understand that when you go on to become responsible for other people in management roles or coaching roles. And I was involved in the Euro Championships 2 years later. So, but yeah, but if you're saying about dreaming of things that have happened to you, you know, if you'd said somebody told me when I was 13 that you wouldn't go to the World Cup, but all these other things would happen to you, I think I would have settled for that, you know. Even though that I've not really done very much, but I mean,
You just say you've not done very much. You did a bit.
Well, depending on what,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
depends on
it
whose
wasn't a bad
comparison
old
it is
career,
to be,
wasn't
you know, is to be a bit of, you know. So,
You did all right.
aye, well, sometimes I
Do you know
think I
Jamie
did
Carragher
all right.
in his
you know,
career?
so.
The fucking
Oh
shit
my
he'd
God,
be
can you
coming out
imagine
with.
it? Jamie Carragher had his medals and his career, his goals.
You know?
Never at the end of it.
Yeah, there's a funny thing at the moment. So a lot of people on television in particular who say that it doesn't seem to be that important. It seems to be other things that are more important, you know.
What, winning's not important? or
Well,
winning
I
trophies?
think collecting pound notes seems to be more important to people, you know. And the people who say that it doesn't matter what you win, or they're satisfied with that. And there's some notable ones who are the higher echelons of commentating on football, particularly ex-male athletes, you know. That's who spawned the opportunity to come to a proper club and win some medals, you know.
Yeah.
And they keep saying this all the time, and it's not true. I mean, it's about winning things. That's why you play professional sport. You want to win.
On the argument of, I see this all the time, there's obviously some players who are very, very, very good players that don't win things in their career. And there's some players who are carried by successful teams. But I don't think people who start week in, week out for successful teams should be punished by that. Like, if you look at United's success period under Sir Alex, every single player is shit according to opposition fans. How's that work?
But that's a compliment, isn't it? You know, because it's...
Fergie was overrated, he just had good players.
Yeah.
But then every single one of those players was shit and carried by everyone
Yeah,
else.
that's the argument you hear. It's literally
Yeah,
like,
but that's what you would expect to hear, because they're looking at whatever they've got, and they're not. It's not just that. It's about United anyway, isn't it? So, pre the success, it was still the same thing. Everybody wanted to beat Man United.
Do you feel like when you came down here?
Yeah, that was a fact. You know, every game was a big game for the opposition, particularly in their patch. You know, they had the biggest crowd of the season for that particular game. The players were all up for that one particular game, so it was a big battle in the first instance. So it's all football games, certainly with United involved, in the first 25 minutes is a battle of trying to keep in the game. And then the last 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, the first half, you get a chance to play football. The second half, they go in, they get a little bit of a breather, the manager, coach, whatever, will get them pumped up again, they'll come back out, flying out the traps again for another 10 minutes, maximum 15 minutes. If you don't let in a goal or give them an opportunity to continue that momentum, you've got half an hour to play football. And you can look at loads and loads of games like that in that period of time, and you'll see why it is that Man United score goals in the second half, why Man United score goals late in games. Because the opposition are tired physically and very much mentally of having the analogy kind of thing, talking about boxing. It's a bit like boxing, isn't it? So they go in, and the dominant boxer keeps punching towards the middle, the midriff, and that, and the arms and all that kind of thing. And eventually the opponent boxer, who's not quite as good, drops his arms. And when he drops his arms, they go in for the finish the fight when they're getting punches to the head that allows them the fight to get stopped or them to get knocked out. And it's exactly like that in the football games. You'd wait until their arms are dropped now. We always felt that we were better prepared than any other team with regards to physical fitness.
How do you prepare for every game being a cup final?
You just get, well, I've been used to it because I'd played for 4 years at Celtic, which was exactly the same thing. It's something you have to get tuned into very, very quickly. And I think if you look at a lot of the players maybe that Fergie signed, he would not necessarily play them all the games right away. I think one notable kind of one for me was Teddy Sheringham really struggled at the beginning of that, even although he was a senior player when he came to Manchester United and loads of experience at Forest and at Tottenham. But even at Tottenham, he only had to lift himself every fourth or fifth game, maybe. And when he came to United, he struggled to cope with the fact that his way of playing, which wasn't as it wasn't based on pace, but based on the ability to find nice space and nice passing. If he really struggled early on, if you could cast your mind back to that time.
I remember
it took him a little
season.
while, and I always got to a bit where it really got. It was a real balance, I think, but also part of that, I suppose, was that then the manager had his selection 4 players, which came to prominence in 98, 99.
Did all right, didn't they?
I did all right for a bad player.
Anniversary
That's what he's saying, yeah. Right place at the right time, isn't it?
Well, that's it,
both of the ones in the final, isn't it? If you're talking about the actual final, Teddy and Ole Gunnar scoring the 2 goals.
One of the worst games ever.
Well, it's the worst game, but they're not. Yeah, it's what if you look at the game over the Manchester United got a hiding.
I've seen that picture today. I've not seen it before. There's still with a kid at the bar and he's celebrating. I didn't realise he was all running up for Bayern Munich.
Who, Janka?
No, it wasn't Janka, was it? It was the other lad. You remember when he at the bar?
Basler?
Well, no, Basler scored, didn't it? It was. I can't remember his name. I will have to find a picture. I've seen it today. Someone tweeted.
Yeah, the winger.
Yeah, the winger.
Yeah.
He hit when he went. Obviously, you remember it. Went over Schmeichel, and he sort of gave up on it, Schmeichel, and the guy's already turned around.
It's the one Schmeichel.
Yeah.
I think thinks he's in.
Yeah,
When he does come back, he's, oh shit.
Yeah, the player did the same. He's already run off to celebrate. Like I've just won us the cup, basically. But yeah, it wasn't great. If anyone's wondering, by the way, younger viewers wondering, well, what did you win? So I know you don't like this, but I'm going to go through it anyway. What Jockey won? So it's Scottish Premier Division, Scottish Cup. 1, 2, 3, 4 Premier Leagues. That's 4 more than Steven Gerrard, in case you're confused with the maths. 2 FA Cups, the Football League Cup. Scored the winner in that one, I remember.
And
obviously, the pinnacle, the European Cup Winners' Cup, in 1991. Our favourite trophy. One of our first memories as United fans was seeing that game.
And another one that United have only won once.
The European Super Cup.
Yeah.
And you scored the winner in that, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Am I allowed to say that wasn't United's best game in that game?
Again, you could look at it from different angles, but my recollection of the game was that playing against Red Star Belgrade was we got proper hammering or proper football lesson, but other people say we created several chances, but to me they had like glaring chances in the game,
Because I said this to Joe the other day, because he was watching it. He watched the game, and at early doors we were quite close, I think, the game. And I said, I remember that game. I think I went, and I was like, they were all over us. And Chucky got the winner, but it was a bit not smash and grab, but
was it like a Thursday night or something?
I can't remember.
Yeah, it was something like that.
I remember it being one of the first night games.
Do you know? You made me laugh about that. You get the trophy at the end, and it's like you're collecting.
It's like friendly,
the Bangkok Century Cup.
Proper treated
It's
like
yeah, thanks, yeah, nice one.
Yeah.
And not running round the pitch for 10 minutes like Jurgen Klopp did when he won it. He was going berserk. I was a bit like, has this escalated the value of this trophy or something?
Yeah, definitely.
In the last 20 years.
Since the Cup Winners' Cup's no longer a thing.
So, yeah. You also scored in the FA Cup final, the most important goal really in that game.
Of course, yeah. Changed the game.
I think it was on a knife edge until you stepped onto that pitch and made it.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that remembers it exactly.
And
the
a finish
same way,
as well, if I remember. It was a difficult finish.
Well,
go Google it.
Also,
it was a tough finish, and the goal that won us that game.
But if you look at the way that
you score in a League Cup as well.
If you show the clinical nature of it, if you look at it in if you examine the DNA of the goal, you'll actually see that the ball comes off my studs.
Yeah, was it touch and go there? Did you not?
When you look at it, it's actually I'm doing. See, that a lot of things that happen in my experience of football is that in situations similar to that, and like last night, was it Mudryk that when the ball comes across him?
Mudryk,
I don't know. I have no idea. But a lot of the kind of things, what happens is that in your head you're doing B before A. And B in goal scoring situation is you're celebrating, you're wheeling away, like you mentioned earlier about that German player and the Bayern Munich player. You're wheeling away in celebration, when Liddy's just doing A, which is put the fucking ball in the net.
Yeah.
Right. So if you watch what I was doing, I was nonchalant to say the least, thinking, "Oh, this is amazing! I've just come on, and see shoot a shot." And he's fucking, for an inexplicable reason, he's passed it, and I thought, "Oh, just tapping this in," and I don't connect with it properly.
To be fair, you say that into should have shot because 3-0 up, you think.
But the thing is, though,
you're just gonna have a dig, aren't you?
but if you look at it just after that,
I'm glad he didn't.
if you look after that, Sparky's in the almost exact same situation, and he squares it again. I've got another tap in, and he fucking shoots, doesn't he?
That's yeah.
So then the thing about that was,
That's the iconic celebration.
I didn't get any, and when you're walking back through that great hall at Wembley that used to be there, and then going up to the little lounge where you could give a drink after the game, the players' lounge or whatever, hospitality lounge. Every single person I went through and past of a United fan were being critical of me. And then one person says, "Great, well done." Fucking, what did you have to do that for? Fucking, what did you have to do that? What the fuck's that all about? Because according to all of these people, they had 3-0. 3-0.
Yeah, you ruined a lot of.
And I fucked up. There was, I mean, one person that had 4-0, McClair 4, right? They had fucking Cantona first goal. Man United 3-0. And I'm like, I'm full of it until I got to the entrance to that hall. And by the time I get to that, I'm like, for fuck's sake, I'm like,
Yeah,
everyone's been ripped away.
Getting that fourth goal.
And the only thing that cheers me up after that is that during the game, if you watch games, Dennis Wise goes up to Eric Cantona, he whispers into his ear, and Dennis Wise is saying, 50 quid you miss.
Right.
And Eric's just looking at him down, like going, whatever. So he scores. And he does it the next penalty, 50 quid you miss, and Eric scores that as well. At the end of it, when we're in the players' lounge, we're just having whatever a drink before we're getting the bus back to the hotel, Wise came up and gave Eric the 100 quid. He came up, tapped him, jumped up. He jumped up and tapped him on the shoulder. And Eric turned around, looked at him, and he had the money like that. And Eric just went, didn't even say thanks. He just grabbed the money off him and turned around and back to doing what he was doing. And I think Dennis thought he was laughing, joking, but he said, "Oh, thank you." And there was that embarrassing moment where he realised he's not. He's just fucking blanking me here, He's done me on the pitch, and he's just sideswiped me in the players' lounge as well.
Fucking mint.
So 3-0 everybody had. So
I know when you got involved in the academy job, you must have got involved in the data side of stuff, especially when it looked. Or did you? Or
data?
Yeah, did you?
I did statistics at university.
No, I'm not coaching. It was not a big thing. Part of it.
The lecturer, and I knew that I was going to like. Statistics, because I went in, and the first thing the lecturer said to us was that statistics are like a loose woman. Once you get your hands on them, you can do anything you want with them.
Wow.
I thought, I'm going to like statistics.
You'd be cancelled for saying that in a classroom now, wouldn't you?
And so I've always been that kind of way, more cynical than I'm cynical anyway, but more cynical about data and statistics than
very cynical then. Okay, well I got a stat for you.
Yeah, but
some of the club's greatest achievement.
Steve wants to give you his stat.
Yeah,
right.
He's got a stat. I got a stat
in a game that you featured.
And it's a fucking hell of a stat, right?
He loves this stat.
1991, Cup Winners' Cup final. One of our players had 100% pass completion. Who was it?
100%.
Yeah.
Clayton.
No.
Mick Phelan.
Oh, he's got it in 2. Yeah.
For a bonus point, how many passes?
Fucking not many.
He's right.
You're not wrong.
Fucking
exactly
not
how many?
13.
Because nowadays...
13.
13.
Really? Sure. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And he's told me that stat a million times. Was it 13?
13 fucking
passes. That's a
passes.
great shout, that. Yeah.
Well, the ability to play well in the game without touching the ball.
13 passes, that's impressive.
All I'm going to say is, if you're looking for why City are doing what they're doing now, probably something to do with Mike Phelan in 1991.
Wow.
I think you're right. There's a definite correlation.
Yeah, you can go draw a line straight from there through Johan Cruyff, through Guardiola, into this City team right now.
Do you reckon
Mike Phelan's fault.
Cruyff showed Guardiola footage of Phelan's performance?
Why wouldn't you?
Well, Guardiola would have been at Barcelona then, wouldn't he?
He wasn't playing then.
No, I know he wasn't playing, but he would have been.
Yeah, he would. He played the next year in the European Cup final.
He would have been there, yeah.
Yeah,
was he not?
They won the European Cup the year after you beat him, didn't they? So they went on to win the lesser trophy of the European ones.
Yeah, bit of a tin pot.
Ryan Merck, or RYMC, says, can you ask Brian if he remembers knowing a Eddie McCann from the Airdrie Plains?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, is the answer to that one.
Yes.
He does. We've also got Simon Lerigo, Rage Quitter, and Colin Coupleditch, who've all joined the Academy. Thank you for your support. Alex Buckingham says, Steve loves that stat. You do, don't you?
I do
you
love that
stat. Yeah.
What a great! It's great because it's simultaneously impressive and shit at the same time.
I like that though.
Because you can frame it up, can't you? 100% pass completion in
you think
a final, European final. How many passes?
I think the next time I see Mick, I think I might tell him.
Yeah.
I'll tell him that. Yeah.
Tell him. Does he know? Have you told him?
Yeah, I've told him. Yeah.
What did he
Oh,
say?
did you tell
Did he
him?
know?
I said, who do you think had 100% pass completion? He went, I think he said Robbo, and then I went, no. Because Robbo tried a risky pass, didn't he?
Tried to make things happen.
Yeah. And I went, no. And he went, and then I think he guessed why I was asking him. And he went, what, me was it? And I went, yeah. And he went, how many passes? And he went, he just said exactly the same as Brian did. Probably not many.
I love that. 13
passes from a midfielder. Can you imagine that in a final nowadays?
Yeah, but it wasn't. He was probably doing what he was told to do by the manager, which was to be more of a defensive type player and to trying to break up the play and different things. So,
do you remember was there a tactical approach to that game?
Yeah. The manager came into the.
I have a feeling this is sarcastic.
No, it's not. The manager came into the team meeting in the morning of the game, and he's did he name the team? I don't think he'd even. Maybe he'd named the team before, but the first comment he makes, he points to somebody and goes, "If you do your fucking job today, we'll win the game."
That's the sort of tactical insight I'm here for.
He said that to who? Sorry.
Me.
To you. You do your job today, we'll win the game.
That's the first thing he says, in front of everybody.
What was the job?
You do your fucking job tonight, we'll win the game.
No pressure then?
No pressure at all.
First European trophy since 1968 for
doesn't
Manchester
matter. It's just a fucking game of football anyway.
Yeah.
And he's saying, I don't know what my job is yet.
We'll work it out.
And my job...
What was your job?
Is to, when they've got the ball, you be right next to Ronald Koeman.
Right.
And you stop him passing. He's the one that he's the most important player in their team. You stop him conducting
fucking range
the game.
On him, didn't he?
Conducting
how
the game.
did you feel about that though? Because you know, I know you've played in midfield and you do play in football. That's a bit more defensive than you're known for.
Well, yeah, but the thing is when we're in possession, just play your own game, you know. So it was only out of possession. So
right, fair enough.
It was just to be. I felt quite proud really that he trusted me. He was trusting me. I was a bit apprehensive about it because like it was definitive. It wasn't just like it was a definitive. You do your fucking job, we'll win the game.
Did he compliment you after the game? Did he say, well done, you did your job, or something like that?
No, I don't think so. But we won the game, and
yeah,
it wasn't the goal. I couldn't do
free
anything.
Kick, right?
I
can't believe it. Imagine you never know with Fergie. Did he play?
I couldn't do anything. I couldn't stand right next to him. You know the
I
rules.
told you.
I tried to stand right next to him.
Wasn't even 10 yards near him.
Yeah.
The referee said to me, "Look, yeah, you've got to go back." And the manager says, "I've got to stand next to him." I'm sorry.
Can you imagine that? Can't you?
I'm sorry, you've got to go
He
back.
He said, "I need to stand here."
I'm more afraid of him than I am of you. So.
Can you imagine that? Brian Casey says, my first United memory was when they came to Ireland and played Waterford United in a pre-season friendly in 1990. Loved it, still have the programme.
Yeah, I've still got the programme as well.
Yeah? Do you keep much memorabilia?
Yeah, just programmes from Irish games in pre-season.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't have anything
specifically ones against
See,
Waterford.
I don't know if that's being sarcastic.
Of course he is.
So,
do you think the only memorabilia he keeps is specifically games against
I don't know,
games
some
against
people
Ireland?
have weird quirks, don't they? Do you not bother with any memorabilia?
I wish I had known, but the interest in it now. But another thing I would like to have done, which was just write down every day, just a little thing that somebody had said that was funny. You know, I can remember quite a lot of things that people have said, but so many occasions that the people have said something that was. Just a little, just one word diary, you know, just one little story, you know. Yeah, you know, so just a tough little one. So the one I remember, for example, is the dressing room at the Cliff, people have been there, is very small, and there would be, I don't know, 15, 16 of us maybe in that dressing room, and so the person you could have a conversation with the person sitting across from you. If you raise your voice, and I sat right in the corner, and Robbo sat in the far corner, so you could have a conversation. Everybody could. He was involved in the kind of whole melee of it. There's very few private conversations. But I remember one day, Mal Donachie, was really a lovely lad, Mal, and an underrated player also. And he's sitting and he's looking at me, and Steve Bruce is saying something up here where he's getting changed. And Mal leans over, he goes, Jockey, can I ask you something? I says, aye, Mal, no problem. Yeah, he goes, he says, Steve Bruce. He goes, yeah, he's taking the piss, isn't he? I goes, I don't know what you mean, Mal. He goes, well, all this, all this daft stuff about, these stories he's telling and all that kind of thing and all that. He says, he's kidding on, isn't he? I goes, what do you mean, Mal? He goes, well, nobody can be that thick. I says, well, he's not kidding, Mal. So.
Hey, oh, I feel sorry.
So that kind of thing, that's one I remember, but there was loads of things like that,
The everyday little one-liners of people.
Yeah, so it'd be nice to be able to just... Anyway.
You did have a diary in the...
Aye, well, I did that.
Which
Comes from that, I suppose, yeah. A lot of that is recorded now, that stuff that happened. Most of it happened. I don't know the statistical data of how much actually happened, but some of it didn't happen because of a fertile imagination sometimes.
It was entertaining. That part of the magazine was always the best bit of the magazine, wasn't it?
Well, not everybody, but a lot of people used to say that was the only thing they read in the magazine.
No, it was. That's the only thing
that encouraged me
I
to continue to watch and listen and write things and also make shit up.
I love that as well.
Without being
childhood ruined.
Without being you never see. Sometimes you don't. You're trying not to upset people. That's all kind of thing. Entertain, but not upset people by saying, which might be perceived as nasty. You knew. We all had we all do still have, I suppose, rhino hides when it comes to criticism internally and externally. But sometimes you would say some things that would upset people. And not that often in that period of time I did it. I had to apologise about one, which I thought was a ribald comment, but the person or the people who were, and it was outside the dressing room really when they'd made some comments occasionally, inside the dressing room. As far as I was concerned, it was most of the things that were funny actually happened. Some of the other stuff I just popped into my head and I thought, throw it in and then see if anybody sees anything about it.
Did you get in trouble with Fergie after?
Yeah, I got a row from Fergie when I was doing it as a coach, which it was just. I mean, the thing is though, the bizarre thing that happens is that when I started to do it again as a coach, everybody started coming and telling me things. Really? So the first team players would come and, you got this, you got to tell, and they'd tell me things like that. I wasn't really in the dressing room. There wouldn't be any reason for me to be in there. But they would come and tell me shit, or other people just, I've got to listen to this one, it's a cracker, you got to think about it. A lot of stuff I daren't put in, because I knew that whoever it was that was the victim of, or the person at the centre of the story would be upset about it. So I didn't put them in, but other stuff I put in, and a lot of the stuff I didn't say who it was. Mainly with the first team stuff, I just said first team player or whatever. Yeah. Sometimes people could, work it out. And I said one story about a player who, in his wisdom, had decided that he'd buy a Ferrari. Now I think that from what I can gather, buying Ferraris was actually an investment, that became buy a Ferrari and you could keep it for a while period of time and sell it at a profit.
Right.
But the particular player wasn't one that was with people or his team that would have assumed that he would have it, and he drove it in one day and he got slaughtered for it. You know, he got hammered for having this Ferrari. You know, so I got told this story. I didn't even name the player.
Yeah, you just
And
said.
I got called. Then it would be a month later, 5 weeks later, by the time the magazine came out.
Right.
And occasionally you'd know that he was.
This is when you was coaching or playing?
I was coaching, yeah.
This Terry
In
Sheringham.
the academy, yeah. No. And he called me into the office and he just fucking your fucking diary and all that. And I was like, it's 5 weeks before, and I didn't reread it, you know. I'd written it, I fucking wrote it and put it in. Yeah, fucking diary, and I'm like, what the fuck you on about? Yeah, and I'm like, I was telling him, I'm like, he's trying to tell me that fucking he's upset. I didn't even fucking name him. Yeah, but you know, like, I said, no fucker knows who he is apart from him and the fucking rest of the players. Oh, you fucking daddy's fucking. I says, you want me to stop it? No, fuck you, fuck off.
Your relationship with Fergie's got to be unique. Hasn't it?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Because you got away with a lot, but
Yeah.
you stuck around for a long time. So
Well,
obviously-
yeah, that's thing. Alex Ferguson's got 3 simple but complicated: trust, loyalty, respect. So within all of that, there'd be me, particularly, I suppose, but more pertinently as a player, pushing those things just because I thought they were funny, you know, and always expecting to get slapped back down. But if I didn't get slapped down, I'd just keep going until, and sometimes I stopped because it was like I wasn't getting any pleasure out of it because he was ignoring me, so I would just leave it and then try something else sometimes later, you know. So there was, yeah, but but when you reflect it, I always put myself under pressure because all that was important was performing in the games. That was always, if you're pleasing him in the games, then I'm not saying you got away with what I was getting away with, but you would, but other people didn't have the same sense of humour or the same conviction of, right, this is, and it was about me. It was not about it. It was about entertain. I wasn't trying to entertain anybody else. I was just trying to entertain myself. You know, and he would just happen to be. There could be other. I did it with other players and different things. Oh, part of the thing is if they come up with something, I just take up the opposite point of view, cause so then I could get a debate going. And sometimes halfway through, I'd have changed 180 degrees and they hadn't noticed. You couldn't do that with man. The man is just very clever, you know. So you'd have to stick to the same kind of thing. And sometimes I'd get it back, you know. And it might take him 5 years to get me back, but he'd get me back for some things that I'd said, you know. But overall, yeah, when I look at and I see some of the things that I did, yeah, I got away with a lot that you could have said would be career ending, not just being dropped in a fine career ending, you know. For Manchester United career ending.
Fergie's reputation is just this ruthless, no nonsense kind of character, but I know half the stories from you just don't add up to that.
No.
But there's not many that seem to, or any that I know that.
Yeah, but I was the only one that did it though. That's probably why, you know. I was the only one that came. It was me. It was what was going on in my head. You know, none of them were. They were too focused on some other shit. You know, I was thinking some popped into my head. You know, oh fuck it. It was just a kind of, I don't know, childlike. You know, something to do. You know, like oh. And there wasn't, because there was nobody else to say, run this story by, you know, like, do you think this is a good idea? There was nobody I could say that to that would go, because they couldn't understand about, why the fuck would you do it? Because I think it's going to be funny, you know.
You just wind them up for your own entertainment.
It was all for my own entertainment, yeah, because I didn't get much entertainment, apart from, which occasionally those things when you just be like that kind of, Miles talking about that kind of thing. So my entertainment every day, I wanted to enjoy myself every day, same kind of thing, I like to have a laugh and a joke every day. And then sometimes I had to create that myself, and if it happened to be some popped into my head that I thought that, just see how it went, I didn't have a thing about, there was no conscience there with regards to, well, maybe that's not a good idea. Yeah. And there'd be a bit where, you know, he's fucking got his head out the window and he's saying, not another fucking step, you know, I know that, actually, maybe I'll make a mistake here, you know, but the actual No, you would think that if I had an adverse effect on him. So last time I went to see him, I didn't tell him I was coming. I was dropping something off, and I just asked if he was in. He was in the office with Jason. I just banged on the door. What is it? And I just opened the door. Anyway, I've had my hair cut a wee bit and my beard trimmed slightly. But he goes, "Oh, fucking hell! It's a wild man from the mountains."
When was this?
Only a few weeks ago, a couple of months ago. So, you know, because I know that if you had had any kind of real issue, I would be persona non grata without question, you know. So,
I mean, like
so
you said,
I got away with loads. Yeah,
I think a lot of you, what helps though is, like you say, performing and playing well and winning things and scoring goals. And you did that as soon as you got to United. You scored 31 goals in all competitions, 20 in the league. Is that in your first season at United? Is that right? You're looking at me like I'm wrong.
no, I scored 20 goals.
20 league goals and 31.
23 or 24 or something.
Something
like
like
And
that.
let's be honest,
over
a
20
pretty
goals.
shit
Yeah,
United team as well.
yeah. Over 20
Where do we
goals.
finish that? Is that when we came second?
24 goals, sorry.
Yeah, we were
24
second,
goals.
Second.
24 league goals and 31 in all competitions. So,
And then 11 for the year after. What the fuck happened there, by the way?
that. Oh, that was during the transformation period, wasn't it?
I know you wouldn't get away with that now, would
You
you?
wouldn't go. I think
Like,
we came.
If you,
I think
you know,
13th
if Ten Hag
first
finishes
season,
11th
wasn't
next season, he ain't going to get another.
Second.
No, was it not?
Then 11th.
It was 7th or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was 7th
then
and
there
then
was
11th.
another drop after.
Was it
yeah.
11th? You
It
sure it was
was-
as high as that?
It'd be so down the fucking.
No, it was
zone
11th.
nowadays.
It was 11th.
In
It was
1990.
so 87 to
89,
88
90.
Yeah,
was
then
was
was it
second.
13th?
Was the second one in the first season.
Second,
89,
yeah.
11th, 90, 13th.
Yeah, but 90 was the FA Cup, which got.
Well, we still finished 13th.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not, you know, but
See, we got to a situation though that year, that 89-90 year, where I think we equalled the record of games that any Manchester United team had gone without winning, which I think was 13 as well. So I think we went 13 league games without winning.
yeah, I'm looking at it now. So from the,
Something
I
like
don't- I
that.
don't want to focus on negativity, but you brought it up. So 25th of November 1989 till, Jesus, what? 3rd of February 1990. No, sorry, the 10th of February 1990. You didn't win a game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So so regards to where we finished, that's a positive when you're in the middle of that bit, because the middle of that bit is relegation.
Yeah, because
Shit.
when that run started with a draw at home
Finished
to
it
Chelsea,
17th.
you were 10th, or we were 10th, and then by the time the last draw with City before we won against
24
Millwall,
in the league.
Millwall, yeah. And you look at the team,
22 or 24. 22 would have been, wouldn't it?
and
Yeah.
you look at the team that played against Millwall. There's no way you'll be able to name that team 2-0 against Millwall.
What,
Yeah,
yeah, 1990?
yeah.
Right.
And you
Well,
won't be able to
let me
name the
I'm
team.
gonna, no, I'm gonna.
Do
No,
11 v 11, that's where you'll
I'm
find
going
it. Right.
on it.
Do you know it?
I don't know the whole team, but I know some of the players that are playing in the game. Yeah.
Because we did my first game. Let's see if you can remember this one, actually. Cause
yeah,
you
we did
scored-
this
I'll give you
upstairs earlier.
You scored in it. So my first game was September 1990, Southampton at home. Name the team.
Jim Layton,
No. Are you mad?
Chris Donner.
Following the FA Cup.
September
He's not
1990.
getting fucking steam, mate. He's not even allowed in the ground.
So September 90.
Yeah.
So that's the season after. So must be Schmeichel must have been playing goals then. No, Gary Walsh. Huh?
Do well here, Chuck.
Yeah, go on. There's another 5 keepers that might have worn a United shirt at some point.
At that point.
Very obvious one.
Oh, yeah, Les.
Yeah.
Fullbacks.
Fullbacks.
We only
Lee-
know this because we did
Lee
it. Well, we
Martin.
did it. We got it, didn't we? In the end.
There'd have been 2 I'd have struggled with.
Duxbury, Martin.
Nope.
Neither of them.
Nope.
Blackmore, Irwin.
Irwin, yes. Blackmore played in midfield.
Blackmore playing in
There
midfield.
was. Sorry, go on.
Pallister, Bruce.
Nope. Pallister played.
Donachie.
Yeah.
Yep. Donaghy played.
Phelan.
No. Yes, played
Yeah.
in midfield. Who's the other centre half?
Is a centre half.
A prominent first. He's got a couple of them. Fergie's first signing.
Fifth play centre half.
Beat you by
Fifth
about.
play centre half.
He'd be a centre
Wow.
half or right back. He would have been.
Wow, that's impressive.
beat you
that.
by a few minutes, didn't it? Become United's Fergie's first signing.
Sharpie,
He come off the bench with Russell Beardsmore.
McClair,
Yep.
Bruce. No, not Bruce. Sorry, Hughes.
You're missing one. The other forward.
Robbins.
Doing well now, isn't he, Matt Robbins at Coventry?
Flying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the playoff final, aren't they?
The team against Millwall that you asked for,
How similar to that one is it?
it's not too dissimilar.
Jim
Can
Layton's
you-
in net.
Yeah. Did you mention Anderson? Viv
There's
Anderson?
no way that you're going to get centre half.
In that game, right. How weird is this centre half?
What do you mean how weird is it? Not as weird as me.
Is it someone that played like 3 games?
I might have played one game.
No.
Might have done that.
Oh, he came. Right, I've seen what you've done here. Right, yeah. There's one who came on.
Have I got any hope of getting this?
No.
Came on, you shouldn't start the game, no?
Well,
Give me another-
According to 11v11, he
Right.
came on for Viv Anderson.
Right, well, okay then.
I'm going to need a
Right.
clue. If I'm not going to get it, I'm going to need a clue. It's not great.
Right, I'll give you a clue. Think of a TalkSport presenter who looks like he's about to explode.
Alan Brazil.
No. No. Close. You got the surname right.
Derek Brazil.
Yeah.
Isn't he Irish? Don't know why that's relevant. But
He's still allowed to play for Manchester United.
it's the name Brazil.
Yeah.
Being Irish.
Yeah. So Derek Brazil and Mark Robbins. I think that's the way around they've done it. Unless they've done it the other way
What
around.
was the team? What was the starting team?
So it's Jim Leighton in goal, Viv Anderson, Gary Pallister, Mike Duxbury, Lee Martin as your defence. Then you've got Clayton, Blackmore, Russell Bearsmore, Mike Phelan, Danny Wallace as your midfield. And you've got you and Mark Hughes up front. And then
What's their team?
it doesn't say there.
No,
their
Sheringham.
start. They've just not...
Yeah, fucking would
Cascarino.
have been, yeah.
Was there
In
all
fact,
their
let me
top
see. I might
players?
be able to do it. I don't know why it's not
All
showing.
their best players of the time. Sheringham, Cascarino, the 2
Let me
lunatics
see
who
if
were
I
playing
can,
centre half.
Find it because it's not... It
And
wasn't
we're
showing
playing
me
at
that
the
way.
Den, not the new Den, the Den.
I'm trying to see if I can find the... it's not giving
Because we could have got dragged into a relegation battle, which we'd have lost.
You reckon?
With who?
Well, whoever went down that year.
I can't find the... I'm just going to see if it'll give me the... Oh yeah, this might have it. Yeah, sorry, this makes great telly anyway, doesn't it? Just while we've got you,
Here's one.
go
for
on
you.
then.
If they hadn't have retired, which Manchester United striker would have been 34 in the treble season?
With 34.
34 years old, yeah.
Which striker would have been 34 in the treble season? And if they hadn't have had the issues they had, they might have still been effective and playing. But it's a weird one because you don't think of them as anything like that team.
So somebody the same age as me then.
What year was you born?
63.
Yeah, it's a couple of years younger.
No, I wasn't.
What?
No, because I was 34 and 99.
How?
33 was I then.
If you
33.
were born in 63?
33 then. 34. Who's older than me?
What year was you
Well,
born? 63?
Peter Davenport?
63 did you say you was born?
Yeah.
How are you 33 36
99.
years later?
In 99.
Yeah.
I was 35, I was,
Norman
yeah.
Whiteside.
I found that team.
Norman was
Norman
30
Whiteside
yeah, younger
is
than
mad.
me.
I
Think
think
of
of
him
him
as
as a
a-
completely different era.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
no,
don't
Norman.
think
not
yeah.
remotely.
Yeah, it's not because Norman's younger than me. Clayton's younger than me. That's
Yeah.
Norman, yeah.
It's
Imagine
just-
Norman Whiteside as part of the 99
It
team.
doesn't seem like
It's
congruous,
totally
does it?
madness, but
Th-
'cause
that-
he's a 80s United player, isn't he?
Yeah, 100%. That team you're on about, the Millwall team, I don't know half of these players. Well, 90% of these players. You got Keith Brannigan in goal, Ian Dawes, Alan McClair, Dennis Salmon, David Thompson,
Fucking President of America.
Jimmy Carter. He was at
Went to
Arsenal,
Liverpool.
wasn't he? Sorry?
Went to Liverpool.
No, they go to Liverpool. Darren Morgan, Paul Stevenson, Darren Tracy, Tony Cascarino, obviously, who you mentioned, and Paul Goddard. And on the bench was Dean Horrocks.
Yeah, no Sheringham.
Was Hurlock not playing in that game, no? Terry Hurlock.
No.
No.
Nope. So, yeah, it's quite an interesting game, that. So we say Derek Brazil getting in on the action, coming in the second half.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that. What was the relevance of that game?
Well, how long did he? I
That
thought he was
ended
playing.
that ended the run.
When did he come on? I thought he played quite a long time. I think it was up.
Well, it says 46 minutes, so you come on
Yeah,
half
yeah.
time.
He said, "Come on, he played
Yeah.
the second half," and I think
Yeah.
he played really well
Yeah.
against Cascarino. Aye.
Well, it just didn't happen for him at United. How many games did he play for United? Derek Brazil. Let's have a look.
I can't imagine.
But that was it. That was probably getting to the bit about we need to start winning some games. But the FA Cup was a nice
But
distraction, but
That was one of only 2 league games he played for United.
yeah.
Yeah.
What was I can imagine Fergie just having zero patience and being pretty aggressive, but is that what it was actually like, or is he a bit more mellow and approachable
And what?
on that run?
Well, I don't know if that was that time or not, but there was a no, it must have been, yeah, it might have been then or the season before where him and Archie wouldn't actually take us for training. We had to go and train on our own.
As punishment?
Well, I would imagine so, yeah. So. And you'd come down if you ever been at the cliff, you come down the little stairs to turn left to go down to the dressing room, and the corridor's only maybe 13 yards long, and when you went in the dressing room, it's really narrow, and he'd be coming out of the dressing room, and you go, good morning, he'd fucking walk straight past you.
In that run? Or
So on that corridor. Yeah, just fucking straight past you, as if you were like... I know, I might have said good morning to myself, you know. Was it good morning, Gaffer? No. Is it yeah, good morning, Brian, you know. Then, but I wouldn't turn around, you know, in case he'd fucking... And then just go in the dressing room, thinking that if he didn't, he'd say, fucking, I got hauled upstairs, you know, for fucking... But then he's in this bit where he's decided he's no talking to you, and they wouldn't talk for a week. At least I think it was about a week, they wouldn't fucking talk to us.
To anyone?
Right, none of the players, no.
Wow.
None of us.
That's fucking moody, that is, isn't it?
None of us. No,
Really?
Nothing. Not
So
even
you're all
saying-
just going, taking your own training?
Well, we didn't train. Well, the one day I remember training, there was whatever we were doing, actually had to go and go, you have to stop now, you're doing too much. Which is like, fucking, that's very funny as fuck off, you know. But he did definitely for that whole week up until the game again on the Saturday or whatever, he didn't speak to any of us.
Wow.
Not
The
even good morning.
reputation of Fergie now is, I think, certainly a lot of the younger viewers, he's like some sort of benevolent grandfather figure.
He is like that. That's what he is, though.
That's what he is now, but that definitely wasn't.
No, I
what it
mean, I think I think from going back really from the beginning of his coaching, managing role or career, or right up to the end, he changed and became a different type of manager, coach, because of the cultures of players they ended up managing as he went through that process. You know, we were all Irish and Scottish and Welsh and English, and it was just the way of he understood what he was trying to do and trying to get a performance out of you, either mainly the games, because the games were important parts, and he was always working out what he was trying to do and which ones that, again, he could trust, really, you know. So, and he was trying to build towards that. And the main thing as well is about players that are available. You coach, you know, if the player's injured or suspended, or you're not talking to him for whatever reason, he's no use to you. And then that can happen. That sometimes you're not for the player or whatever it is, and you'll be not for you. Whatever you think, oh fuck you know, you're not playing. And that was clearly the thing that is the most important thing. You need players that are available to pull the shirt over their heads, and then you're hoping to get a performance out of them. If you keep changing the team all the time because somebody's injured or somebody's suspended, it can disrupt. I know there's a lot of stuff now with squad rotation and different things, but then it was about getting a settled team in, and that you could rely on to get reasonably good performances and positive results, and build on that. And he built on that to the pinnacle of the football game in England and in Europe, and of course with regards to performing in Club World Championships as well. So
Roy Keane's another one that I think from the outside looked like he changed. So you obviously saw him when he arrived.
Yeah, but Roy had to overcome a problem, and he overcame the problem.
The drink.
Yeah, and he overcame that, and I've got tremendous admiration for Roy in doing that. You know, there's many people have various different addictions, and Roy had a difficult time with, or it was affecting. It started to affect what he was doing really, probably more of his behaviour off the pitch rather than his performances in training in the games, because I don't think it wouldn't have been. It wasn't similar. It wasn't the same kind of thing like Paul McGrath, for example, where Paul's was a real problem, and the problem was every day. I think Roy's was mainly just in the particular days that it would be acceptable to go out. You know, didn't interfere with times that 2 days before games or like that kind of thing. 2 or 3 days, it was just, and then some incidents would occur that were influenced by alcohol, and incidents were dealt with by the manager for dressing down or fining or various different things, and he overcame that and became the player and the captain that he was.
Did you see that sort of personality in him when he joined? Because it's Bruce's captain's log video.
Yeah, I remember that.
Roy Keane comes across as this giggly,
No, I don't.
sort of like
that was
really
the second.
sort
That was the
of-
second one, wasn't it? He wasn't in the first
Well,
one.
Roy's always been the one that who's wanted to have a same kind of thing, enjoy himself and have a laugh and a joke and be involved in the team and in the team camaraderie. And he was one of the younger ones. He was involved with that Giggsy and Sharpie and then the Becks and Butty and all that kind of thing. So he loved to have a carry on and all that kind of thing. So Roy was never miserable. He was always buoyant.
he
and good
puts
humour,
across
you
that
know.
miserable side. Though.
What now? You mean?
Yeah, maybe
A
it's
little
more
bit. I think he
public
plays on it
persona.
a little bit,
Yeah.
doesn't he? He does.
I think
I think it's an exaggeration
Yeah,
sometimes.
I think that's the expectation now. It's been created by. I mean, Roy's comments are about reflection on how he sees things and how he did things, and he's got very high standards, which are again something to be lauded.
Is that
because
evident immediately?
I think he wanted to win, and that was clear right away. You know, he wanted to win. He's very competitive in training as well as he wanted to be the best player. You know, he wanted to be the best player. So at the beginning, Paul Ince was still there, and he could see. So he's looking around. He's looking around and seeing how does he get in the team? How does he become a regular player? So, but at the beginning of it, when Roy came, he played a lot of games at right back, and he played really
We talked
well.
about this morning, didn't we?
Yeah.
He played really well. I mean, he was good at right back because he's powerful and
Yeah, he
quick
got
and
up
all
and
that.
down,
He got him down and all that kind of thing. But you're looking and saying, well, where he wants to play. And he clearly wants to be where he's played with Forest and had success at Forest, and that's is the one of the midfield too. So in training, you would have him and NC at it, hammer and tongs, really, you know. But try to just like competitive because they're both like that and both aggressive like that. And Brian Robson used to say to NC when he was on his own, what's wrong? What's happened to you? So, I just want to be the best player. And he go, you're the best player. You know, you were the best player today. And then when he was away, and he'd maybe go upstairs and Keno was in the dining room, and he'd go, Rob, I just want to be the best. You are the best player. So he'd be telling until Paul went to Inter, and then Roy took over that position of being the main midfield player in that particular role, you know. But he always wanted, you could see he always wanted to be that particular thing, but he just had to temper his socialising, really. And he clearly overcame that. And became a really, really good example to young players for how hard he worked in training.
I think it's sad him and the manager don't talk anymore.
Well, I don't know if they talk or not, you know. So it's like there's again, it's have they got everybody got enough time to maintain relationships as they want to be maintained? You've got a thing where you've got one person who makes a decision because they think it's the right thing, another person on the receiving end of the decision who don't think it's the right thing, and then you could end up with a clash of the heads over a period of time. For me, it just seems quite humorous, really, that You know, you want to pick your best manager and you pick whoever, that's fine, you know. It's just, I wouldn't see, I've never spoken to Alex Ferguson about any of these kind of situations, but I wouldn't be seeing him being that upset that somebody's decided to choose somebody else because of... It's like there's a programme on the other night, wasn't there, 40 years since Aberdeen won the Cup Winners' Cup, and Jim Leighton still won't say his name.
Really?
No, it says he refers to him as a manager of the gaffer, but he won't
say his name because of what happened in '99, obviously.
You know, and that's the beauty of managing. You're always going to upset someone, and you're always going to have an effect. You might even find that at any level, Stephen, you're always thinking, well, if I don't play him today, he's going to be upset, and he's got his birthday on Sunday or whatever it is. But he I asked him once about what he says. I try to pick. I just try to pick a team that I think is going to win the game, and that was it. You know, and he made his decisions. He'd listened to his staff, but he made the decisions, and he would stick with that. And I think that was one of his great strengths. And he got more decisions right than he got wrong over that long period of time that he was managing. But with regards to relationships with players, I mean, it goes back to me. I always go back to the thing he said when the year, would that have been 93? When was it 93 or 94 when Bruce, when the Insay left and Sparky left? 95, Sparky left. Paul Parker left. Kinchowskis.
Can you imagine a fucking meltdown that would happen now?
Yeah.
Want to do what with these kids? Are you fucking insane?
Yeah. So and then that was the kind of thing about the. And what he said at the time, somebody asked him about that, and he said, his comment still tickles me now. He says, you only need 6 people to carry your coffin. With regards to friends, you know, they're not my friends. He says, they're not, none of these people are my friends. You only need 6 people to carry your coffin. I thought that was hilarious, you know. So, so I think he's got 6 people now. So.
All right, okay. A couple of chats as well before we wrap up. Alex Buckingham says, position to Jade to ban the words Qatar and Ratcliffe from the chat. The constant arguing is giving me hemorrhoids. Heen Long, who's been a member of the Academy for 12 months, says, just enjoy the stories from Chocky. Should get him to join more watch-alongs and match reviews. Yeah, we'd happily have Chocky on the channel more often.
Actively petitioning for him to be the third.
So I'm giving somebody hemorrhoids.
No, not you. The argument.
I'm quite impressed by that, really.
No, you've not. Ability. People are saying your voice. Listen to you all day long.
I thought because I've fallen asleep.
No. Someone said your voice is. Salem Beast says this guy's voice. No, you are, but he says this guy's voice is calming my soul. Oh, so there you go. Well. So there's a compliment there in there somewhere.
I imagine the chat's not listening to what's being said and is just kicking off about who the new owners are going to be.
Someone makes me laugh though. Someone says, Lockstock says, does Chocky ever get rowdy? Ask the Arsenal team from that era. Does Chocky ever get rowdy? He has been known. Yeah,
there's been moments. Yeah, there's quite. Yeah, there's.
It's safe to say. Yeah, I don't want to put you on the spot because it's live video. But when are you back?
But we're gonna
up here. Yeah. When can we get you back on here? When can we get you back on here again?
When we get back on where?
On this channel, not this particular
show. Do you not just get through this one first?
No.
And then
do you know what I mean? What a commitment.
Got to do a review.
Got
to have a review of, did we think it went well? How did you think about that? Was that start good? What do you think about that story?
We've done the review.
How many people have I put to sleep?
You
only said one person been calm. How many people have I put to sleep?
Without insulting the
who's switched off?
About that. we just want to chat about it.
Right. If we gave a shit about their opinions, we wouldn't talk about Nick Cage every week. We'd do what they want and talk about football.
Talk about Marcus Rashford or the top 4, which we didn't even get into.
We've stayed hella more on topic than I planned for us to do today.
But it was a good nostalgic one. We love that. So yeah, if you're happy to, whenever Chocky's free, we'll try and get him on again. We're going to wrap up there. Also, me and you doing that fundraiser tomorrow, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm also not going to the game on Sunday.
Why?
I'm going to Wembley.
Why? We don't go to Wembley the week after. That's a silly thing.
I've been invited by the EFL to go watch. I know.
Say it like it's a chore. Just been invited by
the
EFL.
It is a fucking chore because London's fucking miles away.
That there, London.
It's early kick-off though.
I know. So I am going to get to watch the United game. I'm just not going to Old Trafford for it. So I'm going watching.
YouTubers, you're all the same.
Depends on extra time and penalties or that.
That's a point.
Yeah. half one kickoff. Isn't it?
But I'm interested to see how it goes. I don't think it's a sellout.
30,000.
Is that
No, big good though.
At least at the moment,
game,
yeah,
that. It is a big
30,000.
game.
Nice day as well.
Yeah.
So me and Ash are going down there doing that.
Okay, we can go and check him out on that.
Even if
Also,
it's a sellout, Carlisle versus Stockport, and I've got 30,000 people going to London.
that's impressive, isn't it?
It's a long mooch that
That's
for
a
both
lot,
teams.
yeah.
That's one that should have gone. Actually, Old Trafford, are you fucking busy? Oh yeah, you are. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, good shout. We'll be at that Len Johnson game tomorrow. There's a link in the chat for that.
Yeah, if
Go
you
and
want, if you're in the
check out.
Manchester area, you want to come because there's no
What's that?
fucking pro matches on.
Exactly, 2:00 kick-off down at FC United Manchester Stadium in New Moston, innit? Also, big thank you.
A lovely little stadium, by the way.
It is decent
It's a
stadium.
gorgeous little stadium for a non-league team.
Big thank you to Beer 52 for sponsoring this
Can you
podcast.
name the stadiums that are not nice then while you're at it then, or we'll do
Ellen
that
Road.
next time. That's
That's
on the
one,
topic for
Name the
next time.
stadiums
Yeah.
that are not nice.
The Etihad.
God, there's so fucking many.
Hey,
That's
Anfield.
a nice little thing the next time.
We can go through it. Big thank you to Brian McClair. So we'll see you next week then. That you booked him. On
Thank you for tolerating me.
on the watch along for the FA Cup final. Right, sound. We'll see you again soon. No, thanks. We always appreciate your support and coming on the channel. You've done it a few times, and the live event we did in Dublin as well, which was amazing. So yeah, much appreciated. So go and check out The Life of Brian, your
Life
podcast.
with Brian.
Sorry,
Life with.
Live with Brian. That's what I meant to say.
You can check out the Life of
Let's
Brian.
say
as
Life
well,
of Brian,
which
the
is
film by Monty Python.
Excellent.
Or you can check out Life with Brian.
I would do Life.
The podcast with,
Life
if
of
you like
Brian's
his
better.
dulcet tones that found him calming, then you can hear him every week.
every week.
Is it every week? How often
It
is it?
doesn't matter, does it?
All right, well,
There's loads you
no,
can
it's
just.
not. It's not an
You
argument.
can listen to it every week if you want.
Yeah,
But I don't do it. Don't do it every week.
Well, how often do you do it?
Whenever somebody's mad enough to come on.
Okay. Go and check that out anyway.
Who
Check
do
you
you
out.
have on? What other guests you got on?
Other guess.
They've had all sorts on there, haven't you? You've had some good ones on there.
Can't let you know who's coming on. It's secret, in
Who
case
have
you
you had
might
on?
pillage them before, me. Ever had on?
We're not like that. We're not poachers.
Huh?
Just tell us who you've had on, their contact details, and we'll decide whether we're going to...
Can't do that. You got to do your own research.
Okay. Fair enough.
When Nigel's been on.
Nigel?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Who?
Nigel?
Who?
Nigel Winterburn.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We had a
that's
very
the
pleasant
one
chat.
you didn't expect, did you? Him and Nigel Winterburn to be
Yeah,
doing a
we had
podcast
we had
together.
I
a
guess
real
it's
pleasant
interesting.
chat, yeah.
Do you have much to say?
It was, yeah.
Did he apologise
I
for...
couldn't remember.
Is his shin all right?
Well, I said he couldn't remember, so it was good. Yeah.
Did he apologise for causing that brawl by allowing you to hit him?
Let's get a guy on to talk about an incident that's called the Battle of Old Trafford, right?
All I can say
Is this the only time?
And he
though?
gets there and he goes, "Don't remember it."
Don't remember it. Yeah, I bet he doesn't. If you don't know what happened between United and Arsenal, go and have a Google. Right, forget all the Vieira and Keane stuff that went on. We're talking
I bet
about
it's still
an actual
banned from
brawl.
the players' lounge.
Like,
No, they stopped. They stopped it anyway. There wasn't a. I don't think there was a particular moment. They just decided that away. All clubs. It wasn't United. Didn't start, some other club decided first to not have away, and then so everybody just did it. So it wasn't any particular incident in the players. It didn't really, was it? It wasn't really anything that happened in players' lounges. Certainly in my experience, anyway.
right, okay.
You know.
Go and check that out anyway. If you can find the search, and it got points deducted all round. That's how placid it was. Go and check him out on his channel as well. Have you got anything out today?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got loads of stuff. Go and check out Life with Brian as well. This has been The Brew with Brian McClair, Stephen Howson and me, Jay Murray. Thanks for watching.